Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for June 23, 2025. The Is Walmart Cool Edition. We begin with that story from the New York Times, which reports that Walmart is trying to shed its stodgy vibe to battle digital native rivals. A retailing giant is said to be spending billions to attract new workers to a new headquarters and woo shoppers with things like Louis Vuitton bags and drone delivery. No cash registers in the home office. It's a mantra at Walmart and a reminder that every dollar earned comes from its 11,000 stores worldwide. The retailer is thinking has changed, that they need to figure out how to compete in an increasingly tech-fueled competitive industry. So, will Walmart continue to dominate? Will they even be cool? Do you want to go to Bentonville and live? Well, maybe so. Next up from Reuters, reports that OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma has received court approval to begin voting on the $7.4 billion bankruptcy settlement while deferring questions on how state and local governments should spend the money they receive. The settlement, which will resolve thousands of opioid lawsuits against the drug maker, its owners, and members of the Sackler family, cannot be finalized until a vote from creditors, including state and local governments. The bankruptcy court judge approved Purdue's disclosure statement at the court hearing, saying it had provided enough information to creditors to decide on how to vote. From the Financial Times, an article that Accenture has reported that a significantly elevated level of economic and geopolitical uncertainty is causing business leaders to hold off on hiring consultants for some new projects. The company reported a slowdown in new business for the second quarter in a row. While the company beat earnings expectations, its consulting and managed services businesses both posted lower bookings compared with a year ago. We continue to see significant elevated levels of uncertainty in the global economic and geopolitical environment, according to Julie Sweet, a chief executive. So I think Accenture is spot on to what's happening across the world. And our final story comes to us from the Wall Street Journal, which reports that China has flexed its chokehold on rare earth magnets as exports plunged in May. Curbs on magnets used in EVs, jet fighters are at the core of some of the biggest trade sanction disputes and unpleasantries with the United States. China, the exports plummeted after it imposed controls on their overseas sales, emphasizing Beijing's dominance on this critical input into electrical vehicles and jet fighters, etc. Total export volumes fell 74% in May. And this is after a 45% fall in April. So you can see that China is definitely going to push back on whatever it is the president does or doesn't do due to his variances of Taco Don. So if you're in this business, I hope you can source from somewhere else. Otherwise, you may have to wait 4 years to get any certainty. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.